doll, I'm Ariana. I am the designer here at Artsy Address, and today you are joining me from my art studio, The Secret Atelier. And this video is designed for you. It is designed to be used with or even in place of your Soul Haven Collection Bedroom Sanctuary written instructions, the ones that come with your kit. So, I really appreciate your support of art and miniatures, and I hope this hobby brings you joy, calm, and a little bit of beauty into your environment. All right, here we go. So this is the Soul Haven collection. This is kit number 1 from it. Bedroom Sanctuary is the name of the room box. It is 1/24th scale, and it comes with all of the wood that you need to go ahead and build out everything, like some of these accessories and stuff. And I want you to know that when I do my unboxing for you here on video, your experience will be a little bit different because the box will have additional treats inside that I am on purpose not showing you here today, so that when you do open your box, you get to feel a little bit of anticipation. Everything comes flat packed, has a little letter from me with a wax seal, just kind of bring you into the lore. So you will open this and can kind of see, what this all about. A little bit of extra fun for you. Obviously, I'm not going to read that here. That's the relationship between me and the builder. And then everything is going to come wrapped so that it's nice and sturdy. It's not rustling around. And each of the pieces here have nice labels so you know exactly what you're talking about. And they do correlate with the instructions. There's an inventory sheet that when we're talking about them, it says exactly the same names that are listed on here. Obviously, the stuff that is going to be front facing doesn't have full names labeled because you just don't want to see that stuff. But anywhere where we can face it inward is going to have that. Okay, so we have 2 nightstands here. This is a dresser shelf, and then we have part of the bed, and then the wainscoting, and then this is the other part of the bed. And we have vertical spacers for the wainscoting. And I don't know if you can see here, we got a window there, and then sconce number 1 right there, sconce number 2. The trim pieces get a little tricky, so they're very specifically labeled because it can be a lot. So these here score marks that will tell you where exactly to place stuff just for alignment. Alignment is so important when you're talking about miniatures, especially if it's in the 1/24 scale. So these guides are here to help you. And then this is the wall with the window. And then this is the rest sign that you can put on top of your shelf or dresser, nightstand, whatever you like. And then this is the wood floor. Again, it has marks for your alignment, and it's just going to make things so much more simple for make sure everything's squared up just right. So that is the unboxing. Next, we're going to go through some recommended and required supplies so that you can build out your kit. Okay, here we are with supplies now. Glue. You need glue. I like Tacky Glue. This is my favorite brand. No, I'm not an affiliate. It's just the truth. It's my truth. Sandpaper, 220 or 320 is recommended for surfaces. I do use 80 to kind of get off the scoring marks that you will see sometimes on the edges, and then paint. So I would say these are your required tool sets. I also recommend other things just to make your life easier. The first is a syringe. Okay, so it just makes it, I should do this properly. It just makes it easier to get a glue line. I'll go ahead and show you. So I also use a pen so that the glue, I can just be ready to use it whenever. And so you see, it has this nice little tip. It's sharp, so just be careful, but just to show you how nice the glue lines show up. It's a lot thinner than if I were to take this big old nozzle. So in our scale here with this box, it really does nice. Again, and just be careful because it is sharp. And no matter what you do, you will still do too much glue. So a couple toothpicks to help you clean up any extra glue. And then a craft knife I also recommend. It's really helpful. Let's go ahead and do just a quick demo of that. Oh, and this one's already popped out. Look at that. So you just do a quick little, let's zoom in here. It'll pop out. And then it has a little bump there, and that's what your sandpaper is for. Okay, make sure to cap your sharp stuff before you move on. Just friendly piece of advice from somebody who spoke themselves. Tweezers, very, very helpful when picking up these tiny things. Like this, not a big deal. When you're picking this up, you'll want them, I promise. Again, it's sharp, so cap it. Last thing, painter's tape. If you do decide to get the essentials pack, this is humongous, so I couldn't fit it in there, but super simple Amazon buy. I can give you a link. Again, I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. But so these are the supplies that are required / recommended. So grab what you want, and then let's go ahead and hop into the assembly. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go through to make sure we have all of the pieces right. And so when you open the instructions, okay, that's secret stuff. So I'll get back to that in a second. There is an inventory list right here that tells you how many you're supposed to have of everything. So make sure that you have that. If not, this is the time where you would send me a message. And that's just because I saw it. There's also some little pro tips and little guides just to make it a little bit nicer. But anyway, so make sure that you check, make sure you have everything. Again, send me a note if you do not. And then instructions are always handy if you lose your place in the video, stuff like that. So anyway, let's go ahead and chit chat about the next step. The first thing that we're going to do is start with the structure. And for this part, the first thing that I like to do is sand off the burn marks. If you're ever going to see the back of it, then you might see some of these. And so I like to get those things off. And then I like to also sand with the 320 just to get this a little bit more smooth so that it can take on some paint or anything like that. Don't worry, unless you're really pushing hard, you're not going to lose the score marks. In addition, please go with the grain. Okay, you can see here, this is grain. Don't go like this unless you like the crosshatch look. Okay. So the other thing that I typically like to do, which I'm not going to do in this video, but if you want to do it, go ahead and pause. You don't have to do it this way. This is just my preference. This is when I finish. If I want to do wallpaper here, I'll put it here. If I want to do stain or acrylic or spray paint, this is normally when I do it. Now, if you do that, there's a couple things that you want to keep in mind. Most importantly, here I'm going to scoot this up a little bit. Most importantly, I want you to notice this. Okay, this is flat on the ground. They're different lengths, right? The one that's longer, you're going to want to tape it off. This is a very small scale, so any excess of paint can mess with your alignment. I learned that one the hard way. I prefer that you didn't. So that's one thing. that I want to mention too. And in the pro tips of the instruction, it also mentioned if you're going to stain this particular wood, you probably want to get a sandable sealer and do that before you apply your stain. It just absorbs a lot nicer into the wood. Okay, so that's enough of the lecture there. I just, want to make sure that you're set up for success here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is put the wainscoting on the walls. We're going to start with the super easy, fun stuff to kind of get you guys broken in. Okay, so here, vertical spacer, go ahead and pop all of these out. Okay, easiest way to pop out is to take your craft knife, and you can see the scoring marks much easier, or the retaining tabs much easier if you flip it on the back. So something to note here, there's this really tiny one. This is the one that goes in the corner, so just keep that in mind. We're going to talk about that one a little bit more in a minute. These are the panels. You're going to grab those, and then we are going to grab wainscoting trim, baseboard, wainscoting trim, baseboard. Okay, so go ahead and pop those out, and then also get ready with your walls. And this is a nice image that you might want to go ahead and pause this, maybe screenshot. This is where everything goes. So all the vertical spacers go here. I'm sorry, here, and then solid wall, baseboard, solid wall, wainscoting. This is the molding. We're not going to do this until last, but this is where the top trims will be, okay? So if it says window, goes on this wall. If it says solid, it goes on this wall, okay? So word of caution, do not put this one in yet, okay? The little tiny corner piece, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. And you can also use these trim pieces and baseboards to kind of squish and make sure that your spacers are aligning. And again, there are score marks here to help with alignment. Now, keep in mind, you're going to glue this later, right? You're not going to see this part. So don't, make sure that your trim and your baseboard and your spacer do not come into this area, or else it will not be a fun time for anyone, I promise. So keep that in mind, glue it like so, and then I'll walk through putting these together. All right, so you don't have to put the decorations on first. I just happen to have this one in my sample. Something else to mention is if you don't want the wainscoting, you don't have to have it. So let's pretend that's you. You just flip it over, and you have a flat base. You can still put a top trim on, but because of the wainscoting, you won't be able to go straight against the wall for the furniture. So keep that in mind. And the score marks now will still be there, but you can sand it off. You can paint over it. You can put wallpaper over it. There's a lot of stuff you can do, but I like the wainscoting, so that's why I put it on there. Now, what we're going to do is make sure you have it thusly, right? Again, I'm going to put this one on, but we're saving that tiny corner piece for later, okay? So this is the fun part. So what we're going to do is we're going to put glue along the edges, and then we're going to put tape here and here. We're going to glue right here, and we're going to put tape right here, and we're going to smush it all together and tape it to stay. Okay, so that was really fast. I'm going to slow it down a little bit and go ahead and do it. So I'm going to glue it first. The reason I'm not taping before gluing is because I will inevitably glue the tape on accident. So there's my glue line. There's my glue line here. Put that down for a second. And then I'm going to take, actually, I'm going to do a longer piece. I had staged some, but piece so you get to watch me open tape for fun. That's about right. Drop the tape. Okay, so lay the tape flat. Put it down here. Move this, and then do it again. Put it here. Alright, you gotta get it from sticking to your fingers. Glue, and put the tape here. So you want to move decently quick. Then you're going to put the glue on this bead line here, or on this extra space here. I'm going to grab some tape like so. I guess I need to make sure the tape is long enough. Okay, now you're ready to go. I like to turn it this way. I don't like that to be, oh, you can't see anything. I don't like that to be all the way down because this is going to interfere. So kind of get that out of the way. So first thing I do is align it on this side here. And then you'll see once you do that, you have a perfect amount of space to slide this guy right in. Okay. And then up so you can see. And then I'll just take the tape and kind of put it there. I won't push too hard yet until I'm certain, because I want to go ahead and align it here. And then check the back side. Make sure it's lined here and that you don't see any blank spot where the score line is. And then just hold it down in place while you lift up on your tape. Keep it there. And do the same on the other side. So push it down here, pull the tape up, keep it secured, and then just make sure that you're happy with this seam as well. And I'm going to go ahead and put it down a little bit so I can show you the top. So this is how tight it should be on the top. Okay. So let that dry for a little bit. Okay. Okay. And something I probably should have mentioned earlier is that I want to put these face down. I put the label side up just for you guys to be able to really simply see and not have to like try to figure out which piece of trim we're doing for what. So we're going to do the window wall top trim now. And I'm going to turn this right side up. This is a solid wall top trim. So I like to start with the window first on this side. Okay, make sure it levels up. And then levels this way. Now we'll have a little nice overhang there, so that'll be cool. But I want you to notice that there's space here. Yeah, hold on. Right there. Because right here, we're going to put the side trim. So you want the overhang, but the reason I start with this one first is because on the solid wall, it's going to end up butting up right exactly next to that. So go ahead and put those two pieces on. Let them dry. I don't like to tape them because it tends to get a little wobbly. Like if you tape them down, and it can do this a lot, and then you have this situation coming over here. So there's that. So once you put these on and you're happy there, Then you will take the sidewall trim. These are both the same size, so it doesn't matter which wall it goes on. And you will place it here, and it will be nice and flush. There won't be any overhang. Okay, I know it's hard to see. I haven't put anything on yet, but so it'll go like that. Okay. Again, I don't tape it because it gets wobbly, but it looks really nice and clean and finished. And then this one, it does go all the way to the bottom. So when you're putting it on, you want to scoop it up, right? And then let everything dry, and your room box is complete. Now onto furniture, and I'm just gonna throw stuff at the camera, have a good time, you know, surprise, yay, this is my life. Okay, I digress. Here we go, next part. Okay, JK, there's two other things that I almost forgot to mention. So there's also these 4 pieces here, the window inset that you can put in. I like to first put the window in first and make sure it's aligned. So there's that, and then I told you the last piece of the room box, this little tiny corner piece here, and you will just glue it to a line right there. So here, zooming in, you have the window sconces, super nice. And this is how I prefer, try to keep it in frame the best I can. Okay, guys. As I take my syringe here, and again, I don't know if I mentioned from the syringe, like see how pointed it is. If you prefer more blunt, that definitely exists, okay? So let's see. I'll just put a couple little dots there. And then I'm right-handed, so that's why I'm switching. I'm gonna do like the more light side, so it's easier if I do this side of the hand. And then, ta-da! Just let it dry, and that's it. You can put little candles or lanterns or whatever on it. Make a nice little decoration. Little pumpkins for autumn, which I'm really excited to tell you guys about it back later. It's a little much on the glue. Okay, and I can't do anything left-handed, so I'm gonna do it. See? Look at me go. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the shelf next. This the top, and then we have these little pieces here. Super duper tiny. Okay. So it's designed to where when you place it, the top is what's going to go on top of the front, and what it'll do is it'll make it square right there, so that these little guys nestle in just right. Okay, this one is kind of a difficult guy, so what I like to do is pick which side you want on the top. Okay, doesn't matter, it's your life. And then apply your glue. Really don't need a lot, and I like to make sure I get all the excess glue off of the front because you might see it. And then you put your top label down and just hold it here for 1 second. There you go. And then what I like to do is push this down and push this in a little bit. Okay, you got to do it even. You got to do it from the bottom. Make sure it's nice and square. Okay. You can tape it if you want to, but it just takes a little bit of adjusting. And I think I might need to put more glue on it actually. Let's see if this lines up a little bit better. And then if you sand these down, you can also try and use these as spacers. I prefer not to do that. I've just not had as much luck. It does look really nice. Now I will say I've done different finishes on the shelf. I prefer to do the wood because it's really hard to see the detail if you don't do a stain and you do a paint. So you really have to water down your paint if you're trying to still see the filigree on there. So, and I just kind of place this and align it the best I can. And make sure to look at different angles to see, you know, if your alignment is right. Because sometimes it looks right from one angle, but not another. But what you do want to make sure is it's going to end up being flush with the wall. So, this is what happens when I try to glue left-handed. I should just do what I know. That's a lot of glue, but I'm going to go with it and see how we do. Yeah. You can see it just takes time. So, there is a shelf. Alright, let's hop into the bed. Okay, so for bed parts, headboard, the platform deck, this platform deck, oops, I'm going to do it like this. There we go. This platform deck is actually going to sit on these two risers here, which is these two risers are going to line with the bottom of the footboard and the headboard to really help with the alignment. Now, something else to note is that we have some side rails here to help with alignment. They are optional, along with the headboard posts are optional and the footboard posts are optional. So we're going to start with the headboard and the footboard first. So let's go with footboard. This one's going to be really simple, you guys. Just watch here. So we've got a little bit of glue. What's going on? Try to clean up any excess because you'll end up maybe not liking it later. Then you have here your little decoration for the footboard. And you want to make sure that it's leveled. Make sure that your tabletop is leveled too, but you want to make sure on all three sides that you're good. Let this dry 100% before you start trying to put the platform deck on it. Any shifts here really can be frustrating. Let's see, so let's go ahead and let that dry. If you choose, you can put the footboard posts on it. I normally do that at the end. Now for the headboard, you're going to do the same thing. Now you're not actually going to see this, so if you leave it out, whatever labels in is probably look a little nicer. Okay, just kind of even out that glue a little bit. And I'm going to put this there, and so you'll notice there's an allowance on each side. That's to help align with these. So these headboard posts are going to be absolutely flush with this. So I'm going to go ahead and mark those with some glue, put them on there. I'm working a little quick because I want to align everything before the glue completely dries. And again, you'll probably want to do the labels to where they're not facing up, but you know, it's your life, do what you want. Okay, so now that's where I'll start to make some adjustments. The first thing I'm going to do is push down on the platform deck And then I'm going to do here, and I'm going to push down as well. And everything should be flush. Like you see how that's off? That means I pushed something when I was making my adjustments. Oh, that's right. See, it overlapped. I didn't even know. So I'm just going to push that back down. Push it all down. Make sure that I'm super happy with the alignment and that it's going to be leveled. It's really important to fish this platform deck all the way down, because if it's at all shifted, then your bed is going to go crooked. Okay. Same with this one. So let these dry completely before you start messing with this platform deck. Okay, I promise it's not fun to try to adjust it in all those directions. I mean, we just adjusted it in several directions. That was fun enough. I'm noticing little glue lines seeping out, so I'm going to clean those up with a toothpick before they dry. Because if it's clear, it's dry, and it's more fun to get off. You can get it off, it's just easier in the beginning. Okay, so let that dry and come back. Okay, so now that this is dry, I am going to take my glue and I'm going to put it right on the top of the platform deck, or the platform riser, so I can put the platform deck right on top of it. And then I am just going to shove it in there, right there. Leave it there long enough to think. Okay. And I'm going to switch it to the side. You can go ahead and keep holding it if you want. But actually, we're going to use this nice little shelf here that is dry, just to kind of have it hold in place. Okay. Let this dry enough. Okay. So while this is drying, I'm going to go ahead and prep this side. The footboard is going to go. Okay. And then I'm going to do my best to center. Now that I have it together, very carefully put it down like so. Okay. And it might fall. You might have to tape it, but we really want the goal for it to be. Oh, so let that dry completely. If you want to test, okay, that it is exactly like if you want to test its level, you just push down, okay, and then make sure that this looks squared up. But if you want to make sure that it is centered here, you can use the footboard posts as guides on each side. Okay. So that's how I know that it's centered. Now we have the sideboard posts, which can go right here. I'm going to put a glue line right there on each side. Okay, it's still drying, but it should hold as long as you don't bump it too much, because the platform risers are holding this deck. Then you're going to take the side rail. Oh, and then on each side of the short part of the side rails, I put a little glue there. So this will make sure that it's perfectly squared. As you're going to insert it right there, and then make sure that it's aligned here. Again, footboard posts can be used as a little jig to make sure that that's correct. Okay, I'm going to let it dry just a little bit more and do the other side. Zoom in a little bit better. So you want to do each side like so. And just push it to where you need it to be. And double check with your jig. Oh, and then I messed up this side. Look at that. I'll put my jig back up. And that's half the battle, is just making sure that you don't mess up stuff while you're trying to mix stuff. So then, when this is a little bit more dry, I'm going to be impatient. I'll try to get the glue off as much as I can. Sometimes I let it dry a little bit more just because I don't want it to completely mess up the alignment with the bed if I'm just trying to get glue off. And clean this glue up too. I don't really worry about it too much just because that's where the mattress is going to go. So let this dry and then come back and we'll put this board stuff on. Okay, so now it's time. That is a lot of glue. Good grief, don't do that. Okay, and then just put on your post. Label down looks better, in my opinion. You can push it down here and down there just to make sure it's nice and squared up. Okay, well, there you have it. Now you have a bed. Okay, so nightstand. Now, when I popped out, not that's not a good example, when I popped out some of them, I had some leftover retaining tabs. This is probably true for the bed too, but that little bump right there, it will mess up your alignment, especially on the nightstand and the dresser. So please make sure to sand this off, okay? This one doesn't really matter because it's not functional, but I mean, it doesn't look that great. So for this one, this is actually a good example of what happens when you don't pop it out with a craft knife, or you do not sand it. So craft knife is good because it misses any splintering that might occur. So sand these and then meet me right back here. Okay, moving right along. This is where I like to start. Okay. I like to put the front drawers on the front part of the nightstand. Just because to me, it's much easier to align things when they're flat. It is nice to have the score marks. It's one of the things that helps my perfectionist brain. Okay, so there we go. Now, the next thing I do is I find the back, okay? And then, so on the back, you're going to have an inset. So now you can see this piece. This is only for alignment. So you're going to align it with the top. And then similar to like the headboard, the nightstand sides are going to be placed exactly, the allowance is exactly the same. So again, it's one of those things where whenever you're gluing, you really want to make sure that it's not totally dry when you're aligning this kind of design. Okay, so inset. Now, even though you're not seeing it, what you don't want to do is have it is assemble it like this. You will not get the alignment. Okay, so it has to be up and down. Okay, first I do the nightstand, or sorry, the inset, and then I turn it upside down. Try to center it just the best I can, and then push down on each of these so that the top will be flush. Okay, then I press it, kind of let it dry, and I put bead line on each side so that I can throw the nightstands in there. So let that dry for just a second. You want it just a little dry. What you could do is kind of start guiding it where you want it to end up, right? Okay. Now is where I like to put in, you can do it one of two ways. You can either put the other inset in like this to keep it aligned first, or do the top. It's up to you. I think I'm going to go ahead and do the inset. So again, up and down. I like to do it upside down. It doesn't matter for labeling, but you still want it to be, you don't want it to be like perpendicular text or anything like that, because it will mess up your alignment. So right now the nightstand is upside down. I'm aligning it best I can. Light pressing here. And then I'm turning it to where that inset, where the front is going to go. Now you want this inside, right? Just like that one. So I'm pushing this all the way down, and I'm coming, my fingers are actually touching the table, and then I'm pressing this way and this way very lightly, okay, just to get the alignment. And then once I feel like that's good, I lift it up very carefully and make sure the top is aligning as well. And just do it a couple times to get exactly where you want it. Okay. And then I lightly hold it and do the top. I say lightly, look at me, what I'm doing here. Along the edge. Go ahead and put my glue lines. And then when you're aligning the top, you want to make sure, first of all, that all the edges are covered, but you want to make sure to put it to where the back of the nightstand is where it's aligning to, because you'll see in a second. You can see there's a little bit of allowance there for where you're going to put the front. Okay, get that a little bit. And then I like to put the front one. I go along each of the sides here, and then a little bit here, and I just place the top right on there. And if you want to make sure that the inside is perfectly lined, you just push down. I'm usually pushing down. And then there you have it. And see your corners line up exactly right. Shift it. So this is the nightstand. Did the second one. You'll have a blast. And then the dresser is the exact same steps, just taller, and you have 3 more drawers. So I hope you have fun with that one too. Right, so now it's the decorating part. This is the fun part. So this is my rendition. You see I finished it, and I chose, actually, if you recall from before, to flip this so that I did not have the wainscoting on this side because I decided I wanted my furniture to sit flush against the wall. It's not a big deal, it's whatever you decide, but I just kind of wanted to see what it looked like, and I ended up liking it. So anyway, I went with the brown purple wall, cream for the trim, and then I have a nice stain here. Um, anyway, so let's decorate and see how it looks with furniture. So we have a little bed here, and yeah, just thank you so much, by the way, for coming to view this. I hope this made things a lot easier. You know, I know that instruction manuals can kind of be, you know, like, I don't know, reading a school book or something. So while we finish decorating, I want to kind of talk to you about one of my favorite decorating hacks, and that is called museum wax. So let's say you don't want to glue on this wall. Like these actually, the sconces, I use museum wax to put them on so I can take them off, and it makes it easier if I want to change things in the sconces and stuff like that. So I wanted to mention that, and it's also nice. You have to make sure to clean off the residue should you choose to use it. Oil is a great tool for that. Just not like castor oil or anything, but you know, like vegetable oil, stuff like that. But the reason I mention it is because, like, if you like seasonal decorations, then this is a great option for you to easily take stuff in and out, just because in 1/24 scale it can be kind of hard, like when you're using tweezers for these like itty bitty tiny decorations, like what you're going to see when I'm putting on this shelf. So I'm actually going to just take this shelf here and cover it in a little bit of wax all the way through. Before I put it on, I'm going to go ahead and put some decorations on it. So I think I'm gonna go with, yeah, I think I'm gonna move this rest sign. I think I decided to do that. So I'm gonna go with rest. As I say, you wanted to change it out later, super easy to do it this way. And then I have a little bird that I want to add here. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of let you watch me play, and you know, we can chit chat a little bit. So this is the part where I'm supposed to tell you to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and all of that stuff. I don't know that that really matters to me. I mean, this is really about value add for you in your instruction kit. But this is your first kit, so if you liked it, you know, we are going to have seasonal decor packs come in to match the design of this room. And again, just a note that I wanted to give you the freedom to decorate the way that you like. So everything that comes in this kit is for the wood, so that you can put your own spin on things. Scoot that back a little bit. Oh, that looks super cute. So yeah, this is, again, the Soul Haven collection. Oops. And this is the bedroom room box. It's the first of Artsy's kit. Hopefully you'll learn more about Artsy and Artsy Address as time moves along. But yeah, so there is the part of the reason I mentioned the wax too is there is a seasonal decor pack. It's for autumn, and I I really don't know if I'm ready to show it yet, but I kind of have this problem with patience, as I may have mentioned earlier. So I don't know. I might just do it anyway. So I'm curious to see how you guys would choose to decorate your room and what colors, furniture you guys would pick out. Yeah, and of course, I'm sure you know too, I have beaucoup more surprises coming from Decor Atelier, and that's my art studio if you've forgotten. It has been kind of a long video, I will admit. So the secrets are on purpose, give you a little bit of extra fun, but this is what we got. and I hope to see you next time. Let me know what you think. Later, go, Ariana. Okay, I couldn't help it. P.S. This is the autumn decor bag. This is my favorite part of it. It's got little leaves. So excited.